Good afternoon. Let's bring the meeting to order. This is the Historic District Commission, Town of Fairfield. Today is July 9th, 2026. The notice of this hearing was published Friday, June 26th, 2026 edition of the Fairfield Citizen. Let's go ahead and take attendance. Darren Raymond Locke.
Present.
Art Gravanas.
Here.
Jim Acamondo.
Here.
Maura Garrett.
Here.
George Clark.
Was that hard?
Yes.
Here?
Nick Mirabel.
Mirabile.
Mirabile.
Yes, here, thank you.
Absent today is Greg Valentin. The first item in the agenda, Carl Smith, 3050 Bronson Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, 06824 for a property located at 3050 Bronson Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, has been withdrawn. The second item in the agenda, Elizabeth Tischler McKinney, 271 Westway Road, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 271 Westway Road, installing driveway apron with reclaimed brick pavers. Is there anyone here representing this application? Okay, next item, Paul Berg and Gay Gasser, 740 Old Post Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, for a property located at 740 Old Post Road, new shutters. Is there anyone here representing this application?
Yes. Here I
You
am.
can stand and I'll go ahead. and Share.
Hi, my name is Kelly Herron and I work for Jack Franson. And we're working at a project on, or I'm representing some clients who own a property at 740 Old Post Road. And they are interested in putting some shutters on the property. They applied for a permit at the Historic District Commission in 2008 and they were approved. But for various reasons, they never moved forward with the shutters, but they would like to move forward with the shutters now. We will be using historically accurate materials, wood shutters and hinges that actually have the correct throw and work. And so these are the elevations. Does anyone have any questions?
Darren, do you have any questions?
Just one really quick one. So you're just re-proposing what has already been proposed in 2008
Yeah.
and approved? Okay,
Yes, it was
cool.
approved in 2008. They just didn't move forward for whatever reason and now have the,
But nothing has changed in terms.
nothing
Okay,
has changed.
perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Art,
None.
Jim,
None, thank you.
Maura?
Just asking because I wasn't here in 2008. Presume they are wood shutters or
Yes, wood shutters. Yep.
that's all I got. Thank you.
George,
Fine, thank you.
Nick?
I'm good, thank you.
I don't have any questions. Is there anyone from the public who has any questions? Hearing none, we did not receive any letters in favor of this application or any letters opposing this application, so this hearing is now closed.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we
Just wait until we vote after everybody.
You can either wait or you can leave and I'll send your office the information.
Okay, I think I'll get it. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yep, so you,
Cool, everybody.
yep, you too.
Next item in the agenda is Peter and Cynthia Burim, 698 Old Post Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, for a property located at 698 Old Post Road. Install mini split systems. Is there anyone here representing this application?
Yes, right here.
I'm Cynthia Vernon, my husband Peter. We have one of the old houses on the Old Post Road that has no air conditioning. And we can't have central air put in because the inside doesn't lend itself to that. So our proposal is to put in mini splits. And we've already done mini splits on the ground floor 5 or 6 years ago and were approved for that. And now we're doing for the bedrooms upstairs. So this is the don't know if you can see, oh, you've got a picture of it there. There, one would be located on the left front and the other located on the right front, behind shrubbery and whatnot, so they're low, they're 3 feet wide by 2.5 feet tall by 1 foot deep. These are the condenser units. And then inside, you don't have to worry about that, right?
Right.
So that's all. And then there are white, I think I sent a picture of the things that hide the pipes. They're kind of white, things like that. And they go off the side of the house and we can paint them to be the color of the house. Any questions?
Dara, do you have any questions?
Not for me, thank you.
Art?
Are the existing ones you have, are they visible or you've got them screened with anything?
Yeah, no, they are visible, but they're behind shrubbery. There's just one unit outside and it's, you can't really see, you certainly can't see it from the street. But if you get up close, oh, thank you.
See the thing.
You've got the pictures
Oh,
there.
but that's the head,
Right, correct.
but we have to look at
No, I
it, the
know.
head
I
wasn't
know.
there.
Exactly.
Well,
Do you
yeah,
have any pictures of the house with, behind the
I
head?
did send them.
Did you?
That's what I was
I
trying
didn't,
to
I didn't
find.
see it.
Yeah, I'll wait till we vote. I mean, traditionally, we don't have a problem with them. I just want to get us, are you saying?
That's a picture of the one that's there now. And that's a picture of where the new one would go on the right side of the house. And this is also from the driveway, so you can see it, but we're planning to put a shrub in front of that one. And the ones on the left have shrubbery in front of them.
Okay, thank you for that. Like I said, I'll wait till we vote. If we stipulate that, it's approved subject to, permanent, shrubbery, would you be
Right.
okay with that?
Yes, oh yeah, well, I mean, we don't particularly want to show them either,
No, I know.
so, yes.
Got it. Okay, that's fine.
Dig more holes to plant the shrubs.
Okay, all right, that's it. Enough. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
That's the house.
Oh, I know the house.
I do too.
Sorry, it took me a while to find the picture.
No, I drove by it.
I got what I needed. Thank you.
okay. Any other questions?
Jim?
None, thank you.
Morris?
So just a question, so the condenser's down on the ground,
Yes,
but generally with splits, there's also a piece up in the actual room. Is that on the front of the house too, or is that,
no, those are all on the sides,
they are on the side?
but they wouldn't be seen.
We wouldn't be able to see that
They're
at all.
indoors, they're in the
There's
bed.
no part that's on the outside.
No.
Okay.
The only other part on the outside are the white. There was a picture of it there. They're just white sort of pipes that are like this thick and that wide, and they just go up to put the wires through.
No further
I
questions.
George?
The shields, the covering that you put up the side of the house,
Right.
that I imagine is plastic or vinyl.
Oh, I'm not really sure. It's probably vinyl.
Yeah, all of them are, I think.
It's, yeah.
It is all in house.
Yeah.
Vinyl. So I'm just pointing that out to the commissioners. It's an issue. I don't know whether it is. I think it's pretty much what you have to do.
Yeah.
So.
Nick?
No,
They're just called line,
Yep.
step line hides.
Okay, I have no questions.
Right.
Is there anyone from the public that has any questions? Hearing none, we did not receive any letters in favor of this application or any letters opposing this application, so this hearing is now closed. I can, send you the results at the end of the meeting, or you can stick for the entire meeting.
Thank you very much, Dave.
We won't be offended if you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item in the agenda, Graham and Catherine Nitz, 160 Harbor Road, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 160 Harbor Road. For A, replace approved composite asphalt shingle roof with cedar shingle roof. And B, replace approved 4-panel wood bifold door with wood in swing 4-panel French door. Is there anyone here representing this application?
Yes, I'm Linda Batchelder from Baker Batchelder Architects, representing Catherine and Graham Nix today. So, we have this previously approved project, and as we've gotten underway, decided that really the barn would look better with cedar shingles like are on the house rather than the asphalt shingles. So we're asking, that's the main ask. And the secondary ask is when we got to the bifold door and it's the egress door and it became a very complicated detailing situation. We would like to switch to, it's the same unit from looking from the outside. It's this unit right here. And the difference is because the bifold went out as it opened up and this one goes in, this is moving to the inside of the wall instead of the outside. And from the street, that will be the difference. And that when it's open, you won't see all the panels. And I kept the old photographs from the window, so that's where there's a little bit of sight. If you're standing kind of in their pull-around driveway and you look across, you can see a little bit of the side of the barn. And that's the angle that you would see these French instead of bifold doors. That's it.
Okay. Darren, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Art,
None.
Jim,
None for me.
Maura,
No questions.
No question.
Nick? I have no questions, so, is there anyone from the public that has any questions? Hearing none, we did not receive any letters in favor of this application or any letters opposing this application, so this hearing is now closed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item in the agenda, Reverend Vanessa Rose, 148 Beach Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, for a property located at 148 Beach Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, for a 70 kilowatt rooftop solar array. Is there anyone here representing this application?
Yes, I'm Vanessa. Hi. I also have Noel Lafayette, who's our consultant, and with us is Albert Costini, who's our facilities manager.
Okay. Do you care to speak for Rose?
Sure.
Okay.
So First Church is requesting permission to add solar panels to the flat roofs of our campus. And a very small portion of our flat roof is in the historic district. The majority of the panels that you're going to be seeing are well outside because when the district was created, from what I understand, a jog runs through the breezeway of First Church and cuts out around the majority of First Church. So really the sanctuary building is completely included in it, the 1891 portion. And it's connected to the 1926 portion with a breezeway, which is sort of in that brutalist style. And on the picture that you're seeing there, it's the lower portion of black panels. The section that's closest to the sanctuary building is the section that's within the historic district. And from what I understand, we do have a letter stating they will not be visible, but there is a very slim chance that when they're installed, because they're at a 5-degree tilt and because from across the street on the sidewalk, across Beach Road, there's a chance that from farther away, you might be able to see a portion of it. We would like your permission to go ahead with solar. Also, from what I understand, even though they're not obviously not historic, I think that historic districts usually tend to err on the side of doing the environmentally sustainable thing. And the way they're installed doesn't impact the building at all because they rest on, Noel can speak better to this than I can, but they rest on a sort of tray that's on top and weighted down. So when they are removed at some point, there's no structural change to the roof. Did I cover everything? Oh, there we go.
You got the basics. That's it. Madam Chair, if you wish, I will go through the technical details on the screen.
No.
Okay. So I only made 6 of these, there's 7 of you. Some of you I've met in prior meetings, others are new faces. So let's, in respect of the newer people who may or may not have heard this, let's just walk through it. This picture here, if I may say.
Yep, page 2.
Is the front of church. This is the area of concern. This is the area that is inside the historic district and it is visible from the 2 sidewalks. What you have here is a solar array that I did years ago on Black Rock Church. It is a good example of what the panels will look like at 5-degree tilt. They're quite flat. Can you see? This picture is very precise. This is exactly what solar panels look like at a 5-degree tilt. What we expect is that the upper corner will be between 10 and 13 inches. 13 inches, worst case scenario, 10 inches in the best case scenario. We don't know that until we put the racking together, okay? Because the roof is flat, but it's not perfectly flat, right? Plus the racking has a bit of play in it. I took the liberty of cutting this board to exactly 13 inches high, right? So on a tilt, this is 10 degrees, this line, if you can see that, that's best case scenario. This is worst case scenario. So from the street, you may see this. That's the concern. So that being said, originally we thought we would not be able to see them, but on this church picture, along this edge, you might see 10 panels this high, just the upper corners. Okay? So, you know, the tilt, how like that. Any questions about that?
What's the depth of the,
Jim?
Yeah.
Can we?
yeah,
Okay. Sure. There's actually.
no, go ahead, we're gonna go in order.
Oh, of course, please do.
Anything else on the presentation?
I think I might, if you turn the page,
Thank you.
there's some close-up, that is a letter for Pure Point Energy certifying the heights that I just reviewed. This picture, if you turn it sideways, Reverend Rose was able to get a picture out the window. So front this, there's an initial step first. Then we have to go 4 feet off the upper step line because to meet fire code, there has to be 4 feet back. So that's where the array would start. And it's really tight up there. To move it back or around, it would be open up a design can of worms. Now, it's hard to see. If you'll turn this down, please, sir. Thank you. Next one actually is a better picture. We were trying to do this one day to get you a visual. This is the exact tape measure I used in that photo. You can see where I'm holding the tape measure in my hand. If you squint, that is where you can see. So if you look at that picture, where the tape measure is the top of the panel you've got to see. That's the best visual. We tried everything. Yes, unless I brought in drones, it was going to get a little difficult. So hopefully I've given you enough granular detail so you can reach that person. Thank you.
Yep. Darren, do you have any questions?
Not any questions, kind of more of a comment. To the Reverend statement, the state statutes really support things like solar, provided that they don't interrupt or hurt the historic material beneath. I think these look great.
Thank you. Art?
No questions.
Thank you.
Jim?
I just wanted to know the depth.
I think it's 2 inches.
2
Are you asking the depth of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty shallow. It looks like it's deeper than it is here, but
Right,
it's
but
really
it's
about
not.
2 inches
Okay.
here, because you see this comes down.
It's almost a flush metal thinner. It's just kind of use it a little bit for age and time, but it's almost meant to be like a metal protected bracket.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Maura?
No questions.
George?
I only want to say that I think it's a great presentation.
Thank you.
And I think it's good that we look at solar, sensible solar as a solution.
Thank you.
Nick?
So there's no panels on this ledge, the initial step,
No,
and there's not any panels until we get 4 feet back from the second ledge.
correct. That's state fire code.
Yeah. And are these the exact panel, or that's just a similar?
Similar, that shows a clear picture of what 5 degrees looks like.
That's the angle, and is this the exact panel or just someone?
That's 5 degrees too. That's on Black Rock. It's not the best photo, so that's why I backed it up with the second one.
Right, but is that the exact panel or no?
No, there's,
Do we have a picture of the panel?
the final design isn't total done yet, but right now they're, off the top of my head, 325 watt Jinkos. There is a site plan, I think, in here. Yep. Right?
So that's pretty.
And that list of, excuse me, sorry. That will be this document, sir?
Yeah.
Right, and that lists the design specifications. It also shows the 4-foot setback. You would need your glasses to see that, but.
So they're custom made, they're custom made panels, it's not like.
No, as a solar, I've been in the solar industry for 18 years. Just to show growth, when I started, I was the second solar developer in the state of Connecticut in 2007. There's now 121 companies. There's 46 panel manufacturers, there's 300 inverter manufacturers, now we have batteries. So the final design is based on the size, wattage, and what's available, because a lot of times lead time is too long. So we go with this for a preliminary design, and when we procure, after we get a permit, we'll have the final panel. But we go with tier one. Tier one is bankable manufacturers, and it's a list put out by Bloomberg's New Energy Finance every quarter. Right? Yeah.
I don't have any questions. Thanks for the
Thank
presentation.
you. Thanks for hearing
And,
us.
is there anyone from the public that has any questions? Hearing none, we did not receive any letters in favor or opposing this application, so this hearing is now closed. Thank you.
Well, Madam Chair, if I may take 1 30-second. To all of you who showed up for the preliminary meeting, I am so. I was over here, not over there. I looked at the thing quickly. I scared the poor cleaning lady to death, coming on the door so hard. Because I thought the door locked behind you guys and I'm pounding and she's like, so
We
anyway,
got to partake in preschool graduations.
right, there's always a silver lining. But that's never happened to me before in my 18 years, so I apologize once again. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much. Before we move to the next item, let's go back to see if anyone from the second item in the agenda is present. Elizabeth Trichler McKinney, 271 West Boy Road, Southport, Connecticut, 06890, for a property located at 271 West Boy Road for installing driveway apron with reclaimed brick pavers.
My name's Nick, and I'm proposing reclaimed brick paver around
Can
the
you state your last name, please?
Nicholas Sando.
Thank you.
And I'm proposing a reclaimed brick paver around both of Libby's driveways at 271 Westway. I blew up a picture, if you guys can't see on that. This isn't the scale, but basically what we want to do is follow the engineer. We want to put a 2-foot apron of asphalt from the road in, and then we would start our brick paver. It'll be 6 lines deep on the mouth and the backside, and 3 lines of pavers on the sides for both of her driveways with gravel, pea gravel, the same existing pea gravel in the middle.
Darren, do you have any questions?
No questions for me.
Art?
No.
Jim?
None.
Maura?
You brought a brick, right?
I did.
No.
Yeah, so this is the paver that we'd like to use. It's a reclaimed paver. They're coming out of upstate New York or the Midwest, as they switch roads and sidewalks. Company that I work with, which Maura has been up there before. It's all reclaimed stone, so I thought it would fit nicely with the neighborhood.
George?
No question.
Nick?
No question.
I have no questions. Is there anyone from the public that has any questions or comments? Hearing none, we did not receive any letters in favor of this application or any letters opposing this application, so this hearing is now closed. So just like everyone else, if you wanna stick all until the end, you'll hear the results. If you prefer spending your time in other ways, we will email you the results.
I have one question. How long is the meeting?
We're not sure yet. You're gonna be here a while.
All right, then I'm gonna go. Thank you very much, and I'm sorry that I'm late. I got here as fast as I could.
That's
I
okay.
appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving on to the next item. SF Station Street LLC, 65 Station Street, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 65 Station Street, Southport, Connecticut, for A, construction of a retaining wall in the southeast corner of the site, and B, installation of a guide rail on top of the proposed retaining wall. Is there anyone here representing this application?
Yes, Chair, members of the commission, Chris Russo with Russo and Izio LLC, offices at 10 Tesco Hill Road in Fairfield, here on behalf of the applicant as the owner, SF Station Street, LLC. Coming to you on the retaining wall and the guide rail. It's been a little confusing of how this has progressed, so maybe it would help. Yeah, put it on here so I didn't say it. So maybe it would help if I kind of recapped. So we submitted an application for this property, 65 Station Street in May. Well, we were heard in May, I should say. At that, the commission approved the construction of the office building, or the design of the office building, the exterior lighting, and the dumpster enclosure area. There were 4 items that were left, because there were, I think you requested, comments from the town attorney. And those were for the extension of the parking area, extension of sidewalks, construction of the retaining wall in the southeast corner, and the installation of the guide rail on top. Even though that was tabled, I could kind of read the writing on the wall regarding the retaining wall and the guide rail, and that you wanted some additional information. So I went ahead and we gathered more information, and I prepared an application with the thought being that at the June meeting, those 4 items would be addressed. And then I would come forward at this meeting, in the July meeting, and do the thing. And I went and, but Brian was here, and Brian Carey with Land Tech is on, Zoom. He was here for it. But so this got, I think, continued to this meeting, is my understanding as well. But at the same time, I had already submitted the application for the retaining wall. So right now, which is kind of funny because the retaining wall is still up in the air, so I don't know. I was kind of like, should the next item almost be decided first before I do this, or if we want to just have me make the presentation on our revised materials on the retaining wall and the guide rail. I'm happy to do it either way. I have everything, so I can go into it.
So I believe if you make the presentation for A and B, we can then decide after for the 2 other tabled items.
Okay.
Which are gonna be, installation of an extension of the parking area and installation of an extension of the sidewalk.
Okay, great.
So that way, it's kind of like clean.
Gotcha. I gotcha. So I'll just, I'll quickly go through it. We submitted materials on this. Again, so this is just for the construction of the retaining wall that's in the southeast corner of the site, 65 Station Street, and then the installation of the guide rail on top of the proposed retaining wall. Just a quick recap, this is a commercial property in the neighborhood design district. Metro North Railroad is to the north of it. Station Street is on its east. Southport Congregational Church is on its west. And then there's residential homes along the southern boundary line. Again, the design of the building, the lighting, and the dumpster were approved already for this. They were also approved at planning and zoning. The wall sits at the southeast corner of site at the transition between the new parking area and the lower grade along the neighboring properties and church. So what's being proposed, it's a engineered retaining wall. It is faced in Connecticut stone, thin stone harbor mist, which is this. It's a natural granite family stone in muted gray, blue gray, leather, silver, and buff tones. And it's laid in a custom square cut ashlar pattern. Hopefully I said all that stuff right. On its southern end, and this is there was a technical memorandum submitted that has a lot of, that's the site plans, but, is it all just one document? Okay, I gotcha. At the end of the memorandum submitted by Land Tech, it has all these measurements. But so on the southern end, which I'll show you here on the site plan. So the southern end of this retaining wall, it's an L-shaped retaining wall. On the eastern side, it starts at 2 feet 6 inches. And then it gradually increases up to 4 feet. That run is a distance of 60 feet. And then on the western end of this wall, it's 3 feet 2 inches on its northern end. And again, ends here, which is, at 4 feet. And this section runs for 75 feet. So this is 60 feet, and this is, 75 feet. The cap on top is a thermal finished gray granite cap. And then the guide rail is a low timber guide rail that's Merritt Parkway style. It's mounted above the retaining wall. It's a code driven safety element. Again, we chose wood rather than, galvanized, some type of galvanized five-way hardware. To show you, the ones on the technical memorandum are good, and I'd like to go through those, but because I'm holding this, we put it on our rendering so you could see Station Street, Railroad, Church. You can see the guide rail that's on top of the retaining wall. Again, because the way the site is, and you're going to see it because I have a rendering from Station Street. From here, you're really only seeing the guide rail and the very top of the cap on the retaining wall. So from the public way, that's what you're seeing. You can see it. This is a look at the building that was approved. You can see the rail right there. And then should be one. The next one's the one. Yes, here. So this would be looking from Station Street, looking across the entire parking lot. And you can see the timber rails right here and here. That's the dumpster enclosure that was approved right there. That's the existing building. So it's really limited what you can actually see from the public way. If you know that area too, on the north side, when you go under the train tracks, you go into a hole. And when you come out the other side, there's actually then an incline to the site. So you're not really, this is where you would see this guide rail. Plus you got the building there that's in the way in between, the road here by the railroad and where this is. And the technical memorandum, Chair, if we could go to there's pictures at the end. There's renderings that Land Tech provided that I think are pretty good. I can zoom in. Yeah, I think that's the start of it right there. Looking from where the church is. So that shows this from Pequot Ave. You can obviously see the church there on the left. The thing on the bottom, the notation on the bottom shows existing and new trees because we're proposing new trees. So he gave you a view with the new trees added, but then the next one should be, I think, without the trees. Yeah, no trees on 55. So you can see the building there. There's an existing fence that's there that really blocks the view of that retaining wall. And then the next picture, this is from Southport Congregational Church. You can see the proposed building there. I think the church has an existing chain link fence there. And the retaining wall, you really have to kind of zoom in to see it. I think the next picture shows the, yeah, you can see the wall there. You can see the guardrail, or guide rail, they call it, on top of the, yeah, right there, exactly. And then next picture, I think has no trees from that, no trees on 55 Station Street. So yeah, you can see it there. I mean, it doesn't really make that much of a difference concerning the existing stuff that's there on the church. And then I think there's pictures showing yes. So there it is. That's looking from the south. So you'd be looking from where the residential neighbors are, and you can see there on the right, 2 feet 6 inches, and then heading to the left is going towards the church parking lot. It gets up to 4 feet. And then the next picture should be from, yeah, so there is looking from the church parking lot. Again, 3 feet 2 inches on the left, and then gets up to the 4 feet. That's in that corner, and that's around 70 feet. You can see the new building there highlighted out. And then I think that might be it. There might be another picture after that. Oh, and that's just showing, so that's showing the video. So That was a change from our original application to this. We also wanted to bring a sample. Again, from the actual public way, there's really limited view of this retaining wall, and it's really just the cap that you'd be able to see, and then the rail that's on top of it. It's something that's required for engineering reasons. The veneer replicates a traditional mortar ashlar wall. This proposal fits squarely within the situation that the handbook sanctions a wall as proposed in this application. Harbor Mist is a natural Connecticut granite palette stone and avoids the color to uniform or color to light failures that the handbook illustrates. And we think it's something that's compatible in its size and scale and materials with the surrounding environment. It's pretty limited. I know there's questions about whether this plan will change. That's something, again, that is in the hands of the Planning and Zoning Commission. We have an approval from the Planning and Zoning Commission. And so there may be the possibility in the future that this parking area could be reduced, but that's not what's before the commission right now. We're going with what's been approved by Planning and Zoning. And so this is the retaining wall that's required, along with the guide rail, in line with that approval. So with that, I will do my best to answer questions. Brian Carey is on if he has some more of the technical details than I do. But happy to answer any questions you might have.
Before we move on to the questions, I think it might be helpful to read the letter from the attorney.
From Attorney Green?
Yes.
Sure.
No, from the town attorney.
Oh, the town attorney. Okay, yeah. Sure.
And perhaps the letters that came in opposition, or we can hold the ones in opposition after, but let's read the one from the attorney.
The town attorney,
Yeah.
I don't have,
Jim has it. It's the first.
I don't want to say,
Is that the one you?
oh, that's right, there's one.
It's the first one that was in there. Yes.
That's already, here we go. Dear Chair Negron, you asked whether the Historic District Commission should proceed on a pending certificate of appropriateness application for 65 Station Street, given public opposition letters referencing the Town Plan and Zoning Commission TPZ notice of decision of pending TPZ appeal, the possibility of future amendments to the development, and whether the TPC decision affects the HDC's authority to act. The HDC's authority to approve or deny a COA is conferred by Chapter 97A of the Connecticut General Statutes and concerns whether proposed work is appropriate and not incongruous in Congress, whatever. And with that historic district. The existence of a TPC decision or a TPC appeal does not deprive the HDC of jurisdiction to hear, deliberate, or act on a properly noticed HDC application. The HDC should act on the application based on the plans as submitted. If the applicant later seeks to proceed under revised plans, whether due to the outcome of the TPC decision or appeal or changes to the zoning regulations, those revised plans would likely need to be resubmitted to the HDC for review. To avoid ambiguity, any COA granted should expressly state that approval is limited to the plans submitted and that any material deviation affecting exterior architectural features or other matter within the HDC's jurisdiction requires the applicant to return to the HDC for further review. Very truly yours, Philip C. Pires, Town Attorney.
Thank you. So now let's move on to the commissioner's questions. Darren, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Art?
No, looks good.
Jim?
I just, going back, so we had talked about, but I think you already answered, I just wanted to double check. We would be able to plant, more trees, and the wall would be adjusted if we were able to reduce the amount of parking spots, is what we had talked about before.
Yeah, there would be the possibility. I know that
Possibility, it was not
I know,
guaranteed.
right, and I know some of the trees are Norway maples. which are non-native and they're in bad shape. So I think those have to.
So I did a full arborist
Got it.
assessment of the property.
Introduce
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, all right. I'm running from Westport, there's traffic.
DC doesn't have purview.
Exactly.
on landscape, so.
Exactly, so it wasn't germane, but there is a reason behind what we had done, but Brian Carey, for the record with Land Tech, a lot of those trees during the, planning and zoning process, we did a full arbor assessment because we didn't want to remove a lot of trees. A lot of the trees are in terrible shape to begin with, so it wasn't necessarily that they need to be removed one way or the other. So during the process, we limited the amount of tree removals, but we can add more trees in as necessary. The wall, the reveal on the wall is going to be very small and you're not really going to be able to see it from any right of way. The only place would be the second story of the neighboring building that will be looking at the southern face of the wall. There is a landscaping plan that will ultimately end up blocking the view of that wall from even that property after a couple of years. One thing I did want to say, I was listening. So last time we were here discussing the wall, Jack Franzen, who obviously we all know and appreciate his input, we had proposed that brick wall because of brick veneer, because they're similar in look to the existing wall that was already. But we went out and went to the Congregational Church, and we actually had Connecticut Stone come out, and we have pretty much matched the church exactly, which was one of the recommendations of Jack at that time. So we've done our best. It would look similar, if not exactly like the church, as close as we could get. There would be a little bit of mortar stuck between the stones, but that veneer would just go in the front of the engineered wall. So you wouldn't be able to tell the difference if it was a dry stack wall or just what we're proposing. That being said, if we needed to add additional plantings, the neighbors, I mean, again, that is a zoning thing. We can do that. The project is a bit overparked, but we can't wait for our approvals to see if they're gonna reduce parking. It's just,
That was really the question.
Yeah, we're gonna be chasing our tails. We've looked at pulling back the wall. The wall is really there from a drainage perspective too, because there's unsuitable materials from a drainage perspective. So we have to actually bring in a little bit of fill in order to keep the separation distance between the bottom of the proposed detention system and what is allowed from engineering capacity to where we have the model. So that wall is actually allowing us to bring up the grade so that we can meet the parking requirements.
So that was really kind of the juxtaposition, was the parking.
Yeah.
So that's, and you had mentioned it's being submitted as it was before, but with no reduction in parking. Because that would probably delay it, you mentioned.
Well, because it wouldn't be compliant with the zoning regulations. The requirement to be able to submit to you is that you require a stamp on the plans
And you've
saying
got
this has
that.
been approved for zoning compliance. So then
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to get the stamp and then I wouldn't be able to come to you.
Right, so
The
more.
the applicant is not excited about building this wall in any manner whatsoever. But it really functions as part of the site civil design package, which is requiring that wall based on the zoning requirements of the amount of parking.
Right.
So we're kind of in this nexus of,
Right.
we're all
Right.
standing there saying, we'd love to reduce the parking, but we can't because it's not allowed. So,
Right.
and they've been at this for quite some time. This isn't the first application they put forward. Before it was, there was the parcel actually had a zone change that went right down the middle of it. They were looking at doing residential at one point. So the path of least resistance is really what the application is in front of you that is allowed based on the existing zoning regulations.
Got it. Thank you.
Or
Thank you for all the detail and thank you for the clarification and the pictures. That helps tremendously. So,
Thank you.
and the only other comment I'd say is, you're graciously saying you can add plantings to the wall, but the walls are natural materials, the materials that we've asked for. So I don't think that's necessarily in our jurisdiction. That's the only thing I have to say.
Thank you.
George?
No questions.
Nick?
No question.
I have no questions at the moment. Is there anyone from the public that has any questions?
I don't have questions, but I
Oh, go
wanted
ahead.
to read my letter if I
Okay, yeah.
please. I'm Jenny Murphy, and I am an abutting neighbor. We own a property that is at 500 Pequot Court, which backs up, as Chris said, on the south side of 65 Station Street. Dear Commissioners, we are writing to oppose the application for 65 Station Street that is on today's agenda for your review. Our family owns the abutting residence located at 500 Pequot Court. As we have stated in previous correspondence, this applicant has submitted the same plan that was approved with conditions by the Fairfield Town Planning and Zoning Commission on November 13th, 2025. At no time since the TPZ approval of the zone change and special permit with the stated conditions on November 13th, 25, has the applicant made any effort to incorporate the TPZ conditions of approval into their design. It was clear that the commissioners of the Fairfield TPZ expected that the 65 Station Street application would undergo revisions to incorporate the conditions for approval before further review by town agencies. Please see attached the conditions for your further review, and I know you have those in the record. It is very frustrating as a citizen and a budding residential property owner to watch a developer ignore TPZ decisions and boldly use other town agencies to collect approvals for a proposal that it cannot legally be built. Which town agency can we count on to enforce the TPZ amendment? When the developer goes to obtain a building permit and says that the HTC has approved their plan, will the building department go ahead and stamp this application because the Southport HTC has blessed the design, even though the TPZ conditions of approval have not been met? This application flagrantly ignores an official Fairfield TPZ decision and acts with an infuriating level of entitlement in submitting this application for HTC review. I have attended many HTC meetings over our 34 years of citizenry. The HTC is commended for rigorous oversight applied to application details such as massing, scale, and hardscape. For example, the 2011-2012 HTC application for the home at 920 Harbor Road went through numerous reviews with the HTC that mandated significant reductions in hardscape for their proposed design. The original plans had extensive retaining wall features and paving that was either eliminated and or amended following HTC review and public comment. The building mass was also reduced and increased setbacks and landscape screening were added to the final approved application. The outcome was a new home in the Southport Historic District whose scale and property was compatible with the neighborhood character. I would ask the commissioners to apply the same rigorous oversight to this application, especially in considering the border areas with the Southport Congregational Church and the abutting residential neighbors. Please apply rigorous oversight to building scale and its relationship to the surrounding historic built environment. For example, there should be a greater setback designed along the border with the Southport Congregational Church that allows for plantings and tree screenings to be installed. The applicant shows computer-generated images of arborvitaes planted along that border, but they are on the church's property. That is not fair. It should be the developer's responsibility to ensure that his plan fits into the historic character of the neighborhood. Balancing hardscape with existing green spaces is an inherent characteristic of the Southport Historic District. Please find attached for your review a drawing that proposes a reduction of 10 parking spaces from the applicant's plan. By reducing the parking hardscape as directed by the TPZ in their amendment, the application finds greater balance within this historic neighborhood. We are deeply grateful for the commitment that the Commission makes to historic preservation and the stewardship of the town historic districts. 65 Station Street is a special historic property that is located on a scenic road and is part of a neighborhood that has many constituencies that include residential neighbors, as well as a church and nursery school. We ask that you consider the whole as you study whether this application has satisfied the criteria that it should as an element of a greater whole. Sincerely, Jenny and Devin Murphy. Thank you very much. I know it was a long letter and I appreciate it, so.
Before we move to others, Jim, in the last papers that have the clip, can you read the conditions of approval from town planning and zoning? There's the next one. That one.
This one.
Yes,
Okay.
just so that she referred to them, so let's go ahead and pick them so that everyone's on the same page.
Sounds good. So this is a notice of decision from Town Planning and Zoning Commission. On November 13th, 2025, the Town Planning and Zoning Commission voted to approve with conditions your zone change application of SF Station Street LLC to rezone a portion of the parcel for residential A zone to Neighborhood Design Business District, NDD. And approve with conditions your special permit application of SF Station Street LLC pertaining to a new 6,842 square foot office building with associated parking, landscape improvements, neighborhood design business district as shown on plans entitled Site Improvement for a Proposed Office Building prepared for Summit Development dated 8/1/24 by Land Tech. Conditions of approval. Number 1, updated tree survey, pre-permit. Submitted updated existing condition plan that accurately maps all trees. DBH, including the mist large mature tree with arborist certification and tree warden concurrence. Number 2, tree preservation. Design and construction will avoid material injury to priority trees in their critical root zones for the tree warden's satisfaction. The applicant may use any reasonable solution compliant with applicable standards. If a loss or fatal compromise occurs, replace at a 3/1 caliber inch or equivalent as approved. Number 3, plan revisions to achieve condition 2. Revised site engineering is needed. Example, relocate/resize stormwater features, adjust, relocate retaining walls, reroute utilities, and reduce paved areas or drive aisles. So the preservation outcome of condition 2 is met. Staff may approve field adjustments that further reduce impacts. Number 4, parking, shared use. Reduce on-site parking was supported by shared joint use arrangements under 25.9 record requirements agreements prior to CO. Number 5, Station Street sidewalk. Build an ADA compliant sidewalk with the Station Street frontage and tie into the nearest existing facilities with field adjustments to close logical gaps while coordinating with tree preservation. Warning, this approval is not valid until the notice of filing is recorded in the office of town clerk within 6 months. The notice of filing is available in the town plan and zoning office and has a $70 filing fee. No work can be undertaken until the town of Fairfield issues an application for a certificate of zoning compliance and building permits.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public having questions or comments? Hearing none, we did not receive any letters in favor of this application, but we did receive letters opposing this application.
Dear Commissioners, as a member of the Southport Congregational Church, I have reviewed the most recent application for 65 Station Street. While I am pleased to see that the retaining wall facing the church parking lot is now proposed to be stone versus the earlier proposal for brick, I do have remaining concerns about this wall and its placement specifically. The sample image of the proposed stone wall noted as harbor mist, in my opinion, is not appropriate. The stone should follow the pattern and geometry of the stone walls deemed appropriate in the HTC guidebook. Ideally, the stone would match the fieldstone wall alongside the church's Pequot Avenue parking lot. Incidentally, the text with the image refers to another church in the neighborhood. See comparative pics below. The proposed wall is located exactly on the property line. To build this without encroaching onto the church property seems to me practically impossible. Once built, the wall affords little space for buffer plantings that would necessarily go on church property. As mentioned by others at previous hearings, the wall and its placement would be vastly improved by removal of only 2 parking places. I will be unable to attend, the hearing tomorrow. Please read my comments. Respectfully, Jack Francis. Okay, there's another one. Hello, I'm writing to express my opposition to 65 Station Street project under review. I live in one of the 4 homes on Pequot Court that abut this property, and I'm aggrieved that the town agencies are not looking at this project as an integral part of cohesive historic district neighborhood. Our compact neighborhood ecosystem, which includes a church, nursery school, business, residential homes, in very tight proximity, coexist peacefully and function seamlessly because of the careful and considerate boundaries that have been established and recognized by the town for many years. This entire community ecosystem is being thrown into chaos because of Felix Charney's overextended, greedy proposition, which requires rewriting rules and dissolving a longstanding neighborhood contract in his favor with no upside for neighbors. Most vexing, the town's failure to stop this project at the offset based on the preposterous elimination of pre-existing residential zone designation established to define reasonable, respectful setbacks and protect the historic character, home values, and quality of life for all. Undoubtedly, there is a way to build on this property with a more appropriately scaled, historically compliant design that does not require compromising the long-established zoning that enables business and residential coexisting in this historic enclave. Thank you, Lynn Plant. Ladies and gentlemen, this deals with a proposal for development at 65 Station Street to be heard at the 7-9 Historic District Commission hearing. I am an abutting neighbor with serious concerns as follows. TPZ approval conditions for development of 65 Station Street are, number 1, a tree survey of existing conditions of all trees, 6 inches, greater than 6 inches in diameter at chest height. Tree survey provided in 7/9/26 hearing materials fails to include dead trees on the property in the north and east corners on Station Street. Are others missing as well? Number 2, tree preservation at 3:1 caliper inch. Existing tree survey lists 8 trees with a total of 224 inches diameter at chest height. Where are plans for a total 672 inches diameter at chest height replacements, plus the 3:1 replacement of dead trees and number 1 above? Number 3, achieve condition 2 drainage requirements. Where are plans to achieve condition 2? Number 4, reduce on-site parking where supported by shared joint use arrangements. Where are plans for reduced on-site parking? Preservation of the foliage canopy is essential to Station Street's very essence as one of Fairfield's 27 TPZ designated scenic roads. Good drainage is critical, as is parking density appropriate to a scenic road. Thank you for service and attention, James P. Bohan.
I think those are all the letters we have. The next 2 was the same as it was presented at the beginning.
Okay, and then the one that you sent me?
That one, yes.
That one I need to read?
Yes, please.
Okay. Right. Dear Chairperson and members of the commission, I represent DJM Southport LLC, Evelyn P. Wynn, Eileen Bohan, James Bohan, Ann W. Shaw, trustee in Southport Congregational Church. The owners of the properties located within the Southport Historic District that also abut and are located within 100 feet of the property at 65 Station Street. That is the subject of the above referenced application that is scheduled for a public hearing before the commission today, July 9, 2026 at 4:15 p.m. My clients respectfully urge the commission to deny the application. The application was not approved by the Fairfield Town Planning and Zoning Commission, the TPZC, in the form submitted to this commission and cannot lawfully be constructed as proposed, even with commission approval. Second, the application fails to meet the standards set forth in the Historic District Commission design guidelines for the issuance of a certificate of appropriateness COA. Number 1, The commission should not approve a purely hypothetical application that may not lawfully be constructed as submitted. The application submitted to this commission involves the same plans that were subject to the application for the TPZC for the approval of an amendment to the Fairfield zoning map, a special permit and for site plan review. The TPZC approved the applications on November 13, 2025, subject to conditions. I have previously submitted the decision by the TPZC to this commission, and I've attached it into this letter as Exhibit A. As you can see, the conditions require the modification of multiple elements of the site plan that was submitted to the TPZC. Those required modifications include the physical alteration of proposed retaining walls and fencing, parking areas, sidewalks, curbing, landscape features, utilities, and stormwater management practices. Projects in the local historic district must follow other relevant regulations of the town of Fairfield. HDC Design Guidelines, Appendix E1. The plans submitted to this commission fail to comply with the conditions of approval imposed by TPZC. In other words, the project as presented to this commission is not zoning compliant and may not lawfully be constructed as proposed, and any future revisions would require further review by this commission. Accordingly, it would be an exercise in futility for this commission to review and approve the application in its current form, as the TPZC has already rejected this iteration and approved the application only upon the condition of extensive alterations. Moreover, a certificate of appropriateness is an approval that is issued by the commission for proposed work and not for applications that does not generally involve proposed work and cannot lawfully be built. CHDC Design Guidelines, page 19. Accordingly, the subject matter of the application is not within the scope of the commission's jurisdiction, and the commission lacks the power and discretion to approve it. Number 2, the application fails to provide sufficient information to meet application submittal standards for a certificate of appropriateness pursuant to HDC Design Guidelines. As discussed, the application is not or actually proposed work for which a certificate of appropriateness may be issued. The application also fails to provide sufficient information to enable this commission to determine whether the site plan alteration required by the TPZC will meet standards for approval of a COA. For example, and these are all bullets. First bullet, the TPZC's requirement of tree preservation will require physical alterations to the proposed retaining walls, grading, and paving. Second bullet, the plans do not show the required reduced parking and curbing. Third bullet, the plans do not show the proposed sidewalk on the Station Street frontage and do not demonstrate required ADA compliance. Fourth bullet, the plans do not show appropriate materials for the proposed retaining wall. Fifth bullet, Belgian block curbing is shown in the colored site plan but not listed on the application. Typically and accordingly by the guidebook, Belgian block is not an acceptable curbing material in Fairfield historic districts. Last bullet, typically a new building of this type would have gutters and leaders. None are shown or indicated. Oh, this is the last bullet. The proposed wall is extremely close to the driveway of Southport Congregational Church, and if built, will make snow plowing of the section of the driveway extremely difficult. For the foregoing reasons, my clients and I respectfully request that this commission deny the application. Thank you for your time and consideration. Very truly yours, Joel Green. That's it.
Okay. Do you have any further comments, clarifications?
I'll keep it limited. I mean, look, just to iterate, this is a application for certificate of appropriateness on the retaining wall and the guide rail. I will mostly defer to the town attorney and what he said, and then to the stamp from the zoning department saying it's approved, that the site plan set's approved for zoning compliance, because I don't think I can add much more to the argument than those two things. I mean, those are ones that, you know, it's the town's attorney and it's the town zoning department saying that this can move forward and that it's zoning compliant. there, as you can see with some of those conditions, and Brian might be able to explain this better than me, but when we go through the permit process, as you would, on any of the development, you might, the tree warden will come out, he'll look at the trees, we'll try to preserve trees. They have a plan there now in the regulations. If you identify what's a priority tree. If it has to come down, then they have a mechanism now where you do a 3-to-1 replacement. So then you work with a tree warden and you come up with a plan to have a 3-to-1 replacement. So it's not that you can't develop if you are going to remove a priority tree. There's a plan, there's optionality in how you resolve that. So that will all be handled in the permit process. And otherwise, it's trying to bring a TPZ battle into the HDC when we're just talking about the retaining wall guide rail. And just so the commission knows, Attorney Green appealed the decision at P&Z. So there's going to be it's going to go through court, it's going to go through process. We're going to talk through all these issues that he's raising on the planning and zoning. But like some of the things suggested, I don't like to tell commission you can't do that, but like waiving parking spaces, the TPZ can't even do that. The ZBA is the one that is able to do that. The TPC can't do that. So there's just things that, again, this is limited to this retaining wall and the guide rail. We did change the material. I think one of the only comments relating to the retaining wall was from Jack, and which from my understanding is that was identified to match what was.
So what he said in his letter, just to, again, Brian Carey for the record, he kind of, I don't want to talk for him, but at the last meeting, my understanding was he was saying he wanted the retaining wall to match the facade on the church. His letter actually said he wanted the retaining wall to match what is basically a dry laid stone wall that's on Pequot Avenue between the church and the parking area. So that was a little bit, the last time it was clear kind of to me that he wanted to match the church, which makes more sense from a design perspective than to match that wall that's, that's high. It's just buried between the parking lot and the church. So I think that's appropriate for, again, matches the church. I think it's appropriate. Just the special permit, just to bring that back in. A couple things about having to resolve the drainage. The drainage was reviewed by the engineering department. Again, they approved the wall. Problem is, the wall's not approved until you approve it. So if you were to deny the wall, then I would have to go back to P&Z and change the drainage design. And I believe that's what the special permit is kind of indicating. Again, some of those conditions within the special permit, reduction of parking, I mean, that's not something we can do without going back.
No,
so
OPC.
Yeah. So I think what we've provided is in keeping with the neighborhood. Sidewalks, again, will be added. That's not jurisdiction of the HDC. ADA, of course, will be ADA compliant. Can we build a wall on the property line? Of course, we can build a wall on the property line. With using construction methods, we have to get a certificate of occupancy when it's done. If it's not done right, they're not going to issue that. So yeah, some of those arguments are a bit of a red herring, if you ask me. Things are going to be done. There's a process in town for issuance of a zoning permit, close the zoning permit. We have to comply with those. We will comply with those. The plans comply with those. The only thing that's a little bit up in the air is still our conversation with the town tree warden. Yeah, and we won't get a permit until we've met all the requirements that are stipulated under the zoning special permit decision.
Brian said this, in some fact, I've yet to run into one of my clients who's been having to build a retaining wall and spend the money to a retaining wall. So it's not that he's there excited to build this, but it is a requirement of the standards, and we're meeting that. We've designed it to be as best we could to match the character of the historic. So with that, happy to answer obviously any additional questions you have.
Are you allowed to ask questions from the public?
No.
Is there any other questions? Hearing none, this hearing is closed. The next item is the, SF Station Street LLC, 65 Station Street, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 65 Station Street. It was tabled from May. A, installation of an extension of the parking area, and B, installation of an extension of the sidewalks. We don't need the presentation just because we tabled it. We heard the presentation, but just in case, I will share some of the items in here. So this was the original presentation. We are, the only two items that have been tabled at the moment was the installation of an existing extension of the parking area. So C, in the main meeting, and installation of an extension of the sidewalks, B, in the main meeting. So I believe we're all familiar now with the presentation, so I'll just go through some of the slides that were presented back in May, just so that everyone can refresh their memory. This were the same site plans that we just saw a few minutes ago. And that's about it. Does anyone in the commission have any further questions, comments? Okay, so this hearing is now closed. Thank you for everyone who attended, everyone that made comments. We're moving now to the consideration of the public hearing. The first item in the agenda was withdrawn, Carol Smith, 3050 Bronson Road, Fairfield, Connecticut. The second item that was in the agenda, Elizabeth Trichler McKinney, 271 Westway Road, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 271 Westway Road, Southport, Connecticut, 06890, for A, installing driveway apron with reclaimed brick pavers. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
Who's second?
I did.
Jim.
Jim.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Okay, let's take a vote. All in favor? Motion passes. Second, next item is the agenda, Paul Berg and Gay Gasser, 740 Old Post Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, for a property located at 740 Old Post Road for A, new shutters. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Accept it. Second.
George second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's take a vote. All in favor? Motion passes. Next item in the agenda, Peter and Cynthia Burnham, 698 Old Post Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, for a property located at 698 Old Post Road for A, install mini split systems. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve as submitted with the stipulation that these condenser units have to be screened in perpetuity.
And that's second.
George seconds.
So with stipulation that.
The condenser units
Because
are
sometimes she doesn't
screened
hear
in
and I want to keep it
perpetuity.
moving, so we're not here all night.
With you.
We're gonna keep you here. and then just-
So I do have a little bit of discussion when you're ready.
Okay.
So I get the screened in perpetuity, but landscape screening, I'm assuming that's what you're referring to, like they were talking about bush and shrubs, et
Yes.
cetera. We really don't have any oversight of that.
We can ask for,
That's
we
right.
can screen them.
Yeah,
That's okay. That's
We can do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
But like in terms of people talking about what trees they plant, we can't.
Yeah,
Okay,
over-
got it.
Yeah, we can't
Okay.
do that.
Can't say it on an overlay.
No problem.
Virgin Creeper.
Okay.
Or, yeah.
So Darren and George, with the condition, stipulation that the condensing units are screened in perpetuity.
Just a question. How do we enforce that perpetuity? What happens if they don't?
In theory, there are violations that, the HDC will submit to the building department and, they are kind of our enforcing agency, so.
Without staff, the building officer.
department.
Usually that's done by whistleblowers.
That's-
That's right. That's what that,
Right, so that.
Good.
Okay, so, let's vote on that motion. All in favor? Motion passes. The next item, Graham and Catherine Nitz, 160 Harbor Road, Southport, Connecticut, 06890, for a property located at 160 Harbor Road for A, replace approved composite asphalt shingle roof with cedar shingle roof, and B, replace approved 4-panel wood bifold door with wood in swing 4-panel French door. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Second,
That was Jim.
yep.
Thank
you.
Not George.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Motion passes. Next item in the agenda, Reverend Vanessa Rhodes, 148 Beach Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, 06824, for a property located at 148 Beach Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, for a 70 kilowatt rooftop solar array. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Well, I'll second that. That would be Jordan.
We should just differentiate between George and not George.
Well,
Is there any discussion?
Yeah,
Oh,
you know, as a member of the public, I don't have an issue with it, but, as a commissioner, I'm a little disturbed. We are being asked to approve, solar panels, which we don't have any explicit guidance in our guidebook, to my knowledge, even with the revisions, correct?
We might not have included it.
we are guided by state statute under this.
Yeah.
You know, we're always
You-
guided
you-
by state
You
statute.
said that,
Yeah.
but that's not binding.
The
So-
state statute is more binding than our handbook.
Correct.
It is more binding, but there's nothing in that statute that says solar panels are approved in historic districts.
It says that without really, without injurious installation to a historic building, without, you know, compromising the historic building, there's very little reason to like not.
Okay,
So does it say don't disturb the building and then
It's
it has to be visually not also disturbing?
The
or
state
is-
statute, and I haven't looked at it today.
No, I know you haven't.
But the state statute basically is like, unless it's really harming the historic building and it's doing damage to it, it's hard to say no to them because it's
But
one
if,
of.
but if they put it in the front lawn, we could say,
Yes, if they put it in the front lawn because they're doing a full array on the floor, that's a different story, but
because then it's visual.
so if it's a gable with a street exposure, that would become their problem.
maybe, maybe not. I have them on my building. They're not,
Restoration that Preservation Connecticut has it on
right.
their building,
Yeah.
and we actually, some of you might not have been present, but in the past, we have received kind of a presentation from them. And it kind of indicates that, yes, we can approve them.
We've denied them in the past.
We have denied, not solar panels at the moment, we have,
We did, we've done it.
Before my time.
what we have denied were the solar tiles, which is very different.
Yeah,
from
solar tile,
panels.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're talking specifically panels. Tiles are not yet something that the preservation community has embraced.
The panels are also reversible, you can
Yes.
remove them,
Yes.
and the roof will be exactly as it was
Tiles
before the panels were
Okay,
installed.
thank you for that. The reason I'm bringing this up is because we have to make, and I believe we have the ability to, work. There's always the argument, there's a slippery slope. If we approve this, then every new renovation in the historic district's gonna have solar and they're gonna expect it to be approved.
No, but you're making the case as if we approve any solar panel
No,
anywhere.
wait, let me finish. Okay? I was impressed with the presentation in that they're minimizing it and the angle and like 5%. Okay, so we have to be cognizant of the fact that, we're gonna have to make a case by case decision.
Correct.
If we approve it today, okay, I think we need to put a provision in our guidebook addressing this. Because this is huge. This is a big deviation from what we expected in the past.
Not really.
We put them on Harbor Road.
I have them on my house. A lot of places do.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've never ruled on it, so,
we've never
We actually
had
have.
solar panels,
that's
as
what I
panels
just said.
come in,
We-
but other communities.
Oh, no.
There's one in
It's-
Southport on
it's solar right on the top.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes,
The
yes,
inside
yes,
roof,
yes.
It's minimally visible, but it's.
It's still visible.
Yeah.
We did
Correct.
rule.
It's- Yes.
So
yeah.
we've done it. The one that you're remembering is the solar tiles.
Yeah.
Which is
Exactly.
retail hell.
That's great.
Let me present, and I appreciate that, that's helpful to me. If, in fact, we get a building or a home in the historic district that has full visibility of solar panels, are we prepared to approve that?
It's a case by case.
It's a case by case. We have, just like any other application, what's appropriate for one house in terms of fencing or wall might not be appropriate in another district or for another house. So we should be taking these on a case by case basis.
And how much is visible? and
What kind of solar
But your
panel it
point
is,
is
mine
the
are very
slippery
low
slope.
profile and they blend
I mean, the slippery slope is easy to throw out. I don't want, we could say that about anything. We
Exactly.
could say that
Right.
about the plastic thing on the
Yeah.
mini split.
Yeah.
But,
You can say about the basketball.
basketball court, but if, I was impressed that they obviously made an effort to minimize it, and, I do agree with Darren, the interpretation of that statute is that we should be amenable to these new products and new ways and, for positive things like green energy and all that.
But you do make a good point. Maybe we should.
Oh,
make
I think we
stipulations
absolutely
Into our,
have to
into
do
our,
that.
into our handbook, to cover something with historic, with.
I think we have something. I will have to
Yeah, I have to look
reread.
at it.
I think
But
there
I-
is some.
I believe,
I think I
believe
voted
we
it.
included something.
Right, I'll take your word
Yeah.
for it, but that's
It's
it.
another one that recognizes it and says we have to take it case by case.
Yeah, and it's got
Well,
to
as
be
is
notation, so, but, I'd be pretty disturbed if all of a sudden everybody's putting, large visible solar panels on a,
No,
on a 1700s house with a cedar wood roof.
that would be pretty
Well,
hypocritical.
I think we've been doing the town a disservice.
It is a case by case, and for example, we're talking about this one, they have gone through extensive research and
They did.
kind of trying to comply with everything and make it as less visible than the norm. So they have.
They
And it's on a section that's
maximized
flat
with as
roof.
much as they
And
can.
they certainly did. Okay.
It's on the mid.
It's been a long meeting, so,
Yeah.
and that
That is what we did on
satisfied
Harbor
that,
Road, too.
we're on the same.
That's what was done on Harbor Road. It's been
Okay,
The
good.
other quick comment I would have on that, it's similar, and I know that some of you all went down there and looked at it and took a tour and saw what it would look like. I just thought that without seeing the actual panel that they've chosen, and without seeing it on the roof, we're kind of taking their word that it's minimally visible. And I would prefer to kind of see it up there and see how visible that minimal visibility is. There was a photograph that he used with the tape measure, it was very hard to interpret what that visibility.
So you're not gonna see the whole thing, you're only gonna
But
see
to
a
be-
slight angle.
To
I
be
know, but I'd
fair,
like to see that angle. Yeah.
this applicant came for a pre-application and went through all of that with us prior to you being on the.
I said that, yeah, I understood that.
Yeah.
And even with that said, I said, we didn't see, I think at that time, and I wasn't here, I don't think you saw it, we didn't see. We're voting on something that we're truly not aware of what it's going to look like from the street. We're kind of taking the word that they minimized it and that they did the best they could to comply and put the angle the best they could. But we really haven't seen the panel or what it will look like from the street.
But that's true with most.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we
yeah,
can say that about any other people.
That's her,
You know, I think, I think they met their burden with the
Yeah.
photographs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know.
I think they made it.
Understood, right, exactly. It's like, we don't know what the, I agree, you could say whatever, it goes back to the slippery slope. It's just-
The chicken
This
and
is
the
the
egg.
large,
So
the large area.
going back to the motion, it is to approve as presented. Any other comments, questions, discussions?
Am I voting as an alternate?
No, only the, kind of this entire meeting, it's only the commissioners, because we have them.
We note the 5% angle or anything specific in the approval.
That's in their application.
It's
in the
application.
application.
So if they don't comply,
If they don't comply, we
It's-
can.
but
put
it's-
it on violation.
It's documented.
yeah. Okay.
Don't say that in public meeting.
Yeah, right.
We're on camera.
Let's vote. All in favor? Motion passes. The next item, in the agenda is SF Station Street LLC, 65 Station Street, Southport, Connecticut, 06890 for a property located at 65 Station Street. A, construction of a retaining wall in the southeast corner of the site, and B, installation of a guide rail on top of the proposed retaining wall. Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve A and B as presented.
Second.
Discussion.
So I hear what everybody's saying to us, but unfortunately, I think a lot of the P and Z topics fall outside of our jurisdiction. We have no purview to enforce TPDC rules and regulation, especially when it comes to landscaping.
And I'll add, with those contingencies have to be taken back to them.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
And I would add, it's not just a for me, it's not just a landscape, and it's really the reduction in parking spaces.
But again, they can't do it.
That's what I'm
because-
saying,
Yeah.
it's out of our purview.
Well, that's
even
the
though
next, that's the next thing to talk
But
about.
isn't it supposed to be approved by them before it comes
It
to us?
doesn't matter. We can't wait.
The town attorney already made that decision.
And if they change it, then they have to come back.
And
to
we,
us.
and we statutorily have to
This
vote
has
ahead
already
of time.
been, those are the same arguments as the first hearing, and we approved it, so they're basically just trying to relitigate it.
My only comment about the retaining wall is the materials, similar to what Franzen indicated. It's more of a wall than
The wall he's referencing.
correct.
But I also think that is a design issue that we're not getting that far in the details. They presented an approved.
Yeah, it's whether it's appropriate or not, whether
Right.
it doesn't have to match.
It doesn't have to match, but kind of like the walls that are throughout the districts are more of
The fieldstone.
the fieldstone rather than
The actual.
Right, but I actually looked at it, retaining walls go to the natural materials. A little bit less than the walls because it's not a wall.
It's not, I don't think it's a question of materials, it's the way the materials
It's
are
the
cut.
structure.
Yeah.
The structure of the wall.
Because the ashlar cuts are more like square blocks rather than a fieldstone.
And a fieldstone would be more natural.
natural, yeah. So that's my only comment concern.
Yeah, I'd rather see a natural wall than cut stone.
Are we, any other discussion?
Well, you guys should decide that. I mean, if you're gonna make that, it should look more like a wall than a
Well, let's
building.
vote on it.
So let's do,
That's why you guys get the big bucks. You gotta decide.
I don't get a book.
Big button.
I missed that check.
Yeah.
So let's vote on the motion that was presented, to approve A, construction of a retaining wall in the southeast corner of the site, and B, installation of a guide rail on top of the proposed retaining wall as presented. All in favor? 2, the motion does not pass. Is there?
Well, you have to ask if anybody is against
Oh,
abstain.
sorry, yes. Any opposition? And any abstention?
No, I was gonna vote against.
Yeah.
Against? Okay, so,
What was that? Where are we?
so there,
It's
for,
2 to 1.
for the motion at the moment is 2-1, so
It
Is there-
fails regardless of
Exactly.
the abstention.
is there another motion?
Well, since I made the original motion, I could amend it.
Okay.
Go for it.
I could, Darren's gonna help me.
Oh,
I could amend the motion to
Right on.
approve A and B with the stipulation that what's it called?
The wall looks more like a field stone.
Feels so.
Yeah, that it's a retaining wall,
Yes.
that the retaining wall, closely resembles,
The
Field
field
stone.
the
stone.
field stone on Congregational Church
A field church is wall.
wall. That's my motion.
Let me make sure I have that.
Both sides, wouldn't
So you motion to approve A and B with the stipulation that the retaining wall closely resembles the field stone wall at the church?
it?
Yes.
At the congregation.
Right.
What?
Can you say that?
What?
Make it, actually ask them to match the church, which is
Make it look more like
a
More
field
like
stone.
close.
a field stand wall.
Yeah,
Feels
yeah,
so
field
well.
stone.
She can do that, remove the church.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it feels no wall.
Period. No,
Yeah.
strike the church
Right.
reference.
Okay, so, any discussion of the motion that we have in front of us?
We need a
which is-
second.
Hasn't been seconded.
I thought it was
It's gonna be a long night.
Why don't you read it out?
Darren Raymond Locke seconded.
I sound a lot like George
Why
Clark.
don't you read out your proposal again?
So at the moment, we only have Art making the motion for with a stipulation that the retaining wall closely resembles the field stone wall.
A field.
A
Field stone wall.
Awesome.
And Darren said this. Okay. Any discussion? No discussion. Let's vote. All in favor? Motion passes. And the next item in the agenda was the items table from me, which is A, installation of an extension of the parking area, and B, installation of an extension of sidewalks. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
Any discussion?
This was tabled because we were waiting for the letter from the attorney.
Yeah.
Correct.
We have the letter, since we can vote on it.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, this is one of those where it's more technical than preferable. I would prefer the outcome be different, but we don't, that's not something we're
We have minimal.
say over, right? Yep.
Okay. So all in favor? Motion pa-
I'm just abstaining,
Okay.
because I
so-
wasn't at that, and there's a lot of innuendo.
So 4-1,
You don't need,
4-0.
what?
Yeah, that's fine.
okay? So the motion passes.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Do you have?
Um,
Thank you for stopping me. I just wanted to be helpful before I go. This gentleman raised a good point where you have vagueness of language. It's
Wait.
not about my project.
Yeah, but we cannot
We
discuss
can't,
that.
no.
We're in a closed meeting now.
Oh,
Got
I
it.
apologize. So I'll send an email to the website.
Thank you.
Bye.
The next item is the approval of minutes. There is the first minute that was included in the agenda was the one for June 18th, 2026. Present at that meeting was Art Gravanis, Maura Garrett, Nick, Mirabelli, Rosina Negron, and Jim Akamondo. Is there a motion
Motion.
or any discussion? Yeah,
Second.
and more. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor to approve as presented? Okay. Then
We need to make, I am making a motion to add the draft minutes for March 12th, 2026 for the public hearing. The pre-application draft minutes for 3/12/2026. And, oh my God, there's so many.
more.
The April 9th, 2026 public hearing and the April 9th, 2026 Preservation Connecticut and SHPO presentation.
Anyone seconds?
Second, architect.
I'm gonna have to read that again.
Okay, so,
Yeah, we have to vote on that motion to add them.
correct. All in favor? Motion passes. And then, let's go ahead and vote on the minutes, the draft minutes from March 12th, 2026, which was the public hearing. Present at that one was Negron, Clark,
Yep.
Garrett, Bohan, Gravanis, and Akamondo. Is there any comments on those minutes? Is there a motion?
Motion approved.
Is there anyone that seconds?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, that one passes. The next one is the March 12th pre-application meeting. Negron, Akamondo, Bohan, Gravanis, Garrett, and Clark. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept, approve.
Second.
That's George Clark.
Any comments on those draft minutes? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion passes. The next one is the April 9th, 2026 public hearing. Present at that one was Negron, Raymond Locke, Gravanis, Clark, Garrett, and Akamondo. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
That was Art.
Any comments on those minutes?
My name is spelled correctly, thank you. Always spelled.
I know. We went through that already. Is there, let's vote, all in favor? Passes. And then the April 9th, 2026 Preservation Connecticut and SHPO presentation, Negron, Raymond Locke, Gravanis, Clark, Garrett, and Akamondo. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Okay,
Second.
yeah. Any comments? Let's vote, all in favor? Motion passes. Oh,
So the 4-9, the first one that we did, was that the pre-application?
public hearing.
Public hearing.
The next one was Preservation Connecticut.
Right.
Right.
And then we forgot to,
So we'll
Okay.
make another motion.
I'll make a motion to add to this agenda the minutes from 4/9/2026 for, is that a pre-application?
yeah,
Pre-application for 554 Tungus Hill Road And another draft minute from a pre-application for 669 Harbor Road dated April 30th, 2026.
Anyone second?
I'll say. That would be George.
Oh, I wasn't.
Okay, all in favor to include those two draft minutes?
Sorry, George, did you second that one?
Yeah.
So did.
Darren George.
That's why I repeated.
So you didn't, you
See what
failed,
happens?
you failed.
So, for the April 9th application for 554 Tonsas Hill Road, present were Negron, Raymond Law, Gravanis, Clark, Garrick, and Comando. Is there any comments on that one? Nope. And then let's move to the next one, 4/30/2026, 669 Harbor Road. Present at that one was Negron, Gravanis, Clark, and actually, let's do them separately, sorry. For the first one, the 554 Tonsas Hill, all in favor? Motion passes. The next one is 4/30/2026, 669 Harbor Road. Present at that one, it's Negron, Gravanis, Clark, and Accomando. Is there a motion?
That's the one at the harbor, at the yacht club?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a motion that it needs to be amended. I was present.
Correct. Anyone seconds?
Second.
That was Arch, right?
Jim.
Jim.
That was Jim.
So who, sorry, I just got a.
Mora needs to be added to that.
Right, no, I got that. But the 4926, the 554 Tonsas Hill, who motioned and who seconded?
I motioned.
Okay.
And George.
George
George
seconded.
seconded.
So we'll add, Maura as being present in the 4:30. Is there a motion for, to approve with the amendment?
I wasn't there. I can't vote on it.
I'll make the motion to approve.
And I'll second it just for art.
It was George Clark.
Yep. All in favor? Motion passes. Then the next item is the chairman's report. There were no repairs at this moment. Demolitions, there are a few demolitions.
I need to let me know when I should give like a 5 in the morning to Marion and Stacy. So let them know to queue up.
Okay. Give me 1 second, let me find the demolitions so that I can share. We're running a few minutes behind, but we'll try to make everything pleasant for everyone and as quick as possible. Very interesting. I'm gonna share the demolitions that were submitted this month. The first demolition that is proposed is 15 Encore Road, which includes 27 Encore Road, 39 Encore Road, 43 Encore Road, 45 Encore Road, 16 Court, and 36 Sanford Street. So the buildings are Las Vegas,
Catch a
Healthy Habit.
I remember the other one. It used to be Fairfield Eco. The barber shop.
Yeah, the barber shop, yeah. So Las Vegas Barber Shop, Catch a Healthy Habit, and this used to be different things, the last business in there. Was a vape shop, yes.
And this is Dr. King's.
And on the other side is, on Sanford Road,
Yeah.
is that property.
So these are getting demolished for an 830G that's coming to town?
Yep.
Yes.
Preservationally, there is an option for us to get Connecticut State Historic Preservation Office involved through SEPA. Because these are potentially National Register eligible,
Which ones, all of them?
all of them.
Yes.
Because they're historic buildings that have been used as downtown business districts. There are some changes, but they're potentially eligible. And under Connecticut Environmental Protection Act, those, anything that's nationally registered or national eligible is protected, well, anything on the national register is protected from unreasonable destruction through SEPA.
It can provide not guaranteed protection for property listed under the consideration for listing on National Register of Historic Places.
Yes, and that becomes a very, like, the Attorney General gets involved, it becomes a thing. They can require. Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying, these are not listed, but SHPO can still potentially get involved to
Correct.
require mitigation documents so that they're at least documented fully, photographically and historically, so that there is a record of what was there and we understand the development of Fairfield at that time.
What years are these?
Early 1900s.
1900s.
So are we,
They're over 100.
are we pretty late to this party? Because I think the red building's gone. I know one of them was
The
already,
red building was there the other day.
was there the
It
other.
was there a week.
There's something demolished on.
Yeah, right next to it was.
Oh, the garages are gone?
Yeah, the garage, I think the garage was.
Something was gone.
Yeah.
But, the historic district has a 60-day,
We have a 60-day demo delay. that
Demo
we
delay,
can
yes.
Enforce.
And I mean, this is unfair to ask you because I don't expect you to walk in with all this. So the historic early 1900s and continually businesses, any other significant, like other reasons to make the case why?
They're significant for that reason. This was the downtown area. This was the early business district. These were commercial properties that were serving the growing community of Fairfield at that time.
And we could probably dig and find some pretty interesting stuff.
We could pull Sanborn maps from the early 1900s and find out exactly what
What they
businesses
were.
were there. Yeah. So we can talk about, it's significant. I've done mitigation documents for other streets like this in
Right.
Stanford and New Britain and other places. They're significant.
Where are we on the demolition process? Because I thought, unless I'm imagining, I thought I saw a crane back there already.
There might be a crane, but I don't think that they are okay to demo.
Can we also just say, hey, look, we're not making absolute, but you've got to give us a chance to look at this?
We can ask them, but through this process, if we get SHPO involved and see what we can do through that, it becomes a much more,
Concrete.
not concrete, but they have ways of dealing with developers that we don't have.
Well,
We-
that's,
we
it's
sort of
kind of the UI thing.
So
This is not UI.
No, I'm just saying, was the idea of getting things on the National Register in order.
But this is similar to what we did with the South Benson house, that we contacted the owners, did a mitigation. It's a little bit different, but
I should say though, that even if we did move forward with the National Register, and I'm not saying we should do that, that the demo has already been registered with the building department, so they cannot really be saved. The best we can hope for right now is mitigation documents.
So that's interesting. Who did?
It doesn't precede what has already been filed.
Okay. So all we really have a chance to do is document.
Correct.
So you can't save the building.
We probably cannot save the buildings. However, mitigation documents can include putting up, didactic interpretive signage that say, this was here until recently, this is why that was important. This is commemorating what those buildings were and what this development was at that time.
Looking backwards,
Yeah, do that all the time.
was there ever an opportunity for us to intercede?
100%, and not us necessarily, but the community, yes.
Yeah.
But by the time a demo
Right.
is filed virtually, I mean,
That's-
it's
that's- that was-
time and time again, the best you can hope for is talking to the developer and coming to an agreement at that.
But so it's just a theoretical question.
Yeah.
In this case, but why didn't P and Z flag us sooner?
I can't answer that, and it's not.
They're not required.
There's no reason we get flagged on they're not designated in any sort of way.
Right.
If they
So-
were,
Even if they were, we have to be registered as an interested party, which we are, which is why we get the notices.
So the
Right.
community's known about this for a long
Yeah.
time. Could we have just picked up as the HDC 6 months ago, when it was just out there?
That's murky to me.
Okay.
That's murky to me because that's required, we are bound by our state statutes. And we have a very limited purview. These are not designated, they don't fall to our purview.
They would have had to be individual.
Right, these are still not really under our purview. We're registered as an interested party who gets demo notices for buildings over 100 years.
Yep.
For buildings over 100 years, and that's why we're seeing them, but we don't have a robust demolition delay. We're not written into that ordinance. Other towns are. I would really suggest that at some point we think about pushing that, but I think there are other things we need to go through in order to make that case stronger, like doing the Fairfield historic inventory, which I know that's another conversation.
No, but that's the
Don't yell at me.
perfect time, really.
Yeah.
Once we do that, because we'll have a better understanding of what building, and then we can really go out to the community and be like, here are the incentives to be on the state register. Here are the incentives of being on the national. Oh, local's good too because of A, B, and C. Like, we can have those conversations, but I think for now, I think that's a larger conversation we have to put on an agenda, because we will be here all night.
Right, so just last question. So the SHPO does their inventory that they have, you know, of different.
SHPO doesn't do it.
Hmm?
SHPO doesn't do it, the towns do it, the municipalities.
Right, so, but there's all the one that was done in the 70s.
Yeah, that's the town has to do that, it's a
Okay,
municipal.
so I would imagine there has to be information about those buildings on that one.
Not necessarily, that one was very limited in scope, it missed a lot, it was really focused on beach area.
On the districts that.
Well, they're in Southport, because mine.
Oh, so
was that.
Southport, they didn't reach up to me,
No.
they didn't get Stratfield, they didn't do a lot of downtown.
No, like mine was,
So
it
it's
was
very-
very rudimentary, but it was in there and it.
But there has been one?
Yeah.
Maybe two, and they're only 150 buildings each.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they are not extensive, and the ones done in the 70s are not up to today's scholarship.
And it would, you know, it's an interesting question back to the historic inventory, is the whole this downtown area should be a target.
Yes, but again, I think, I hear you, I'm not trying to shut you down, this is a whole big conversation, I think
Exactly.
we need to put on an agenda.
All right, so what do we do about this? Do we want to ask, or is it worth asking? Should
We can ask.
Yeah.
The worst
not?
that can happen is they say you can't really do anything.
Right, I mean, let's just see what they say.
Okay.
But as you said, best case for us is some sort of historical perspective.
Yeah, mitigation.
Yeah.
Right.
But mitigation measures can be very crazy. Like crazy stringent. Like there was a school up in New Haven. A developer tore it down. It was registered. They got in trouble. They were instructed they had to buy another school, rehab it, and then give it back to the community after registering it. That was one of my early projects. Like mitigation measures are, sometimes it's a report, just so that they know what's there and what the historic information is that's accessible. And other times, it's insane.
It's got teeth.
It's got teeth.
So since he's one registered, could have the town done anything with the citizenship prior to prevent
The
this?
citizens could have done things, but that takes a lot. And there's so many of these projects around town right now, it's hard.
So
for
something
every- yeah, there was
go-
one on High Street, there's one across
Right.
from me, and still,
They
like,
can stop it if they get together.
I don't know stopping it, but there are
Like-
community actions that can alter it.
Yeah.
Change it, stop it, move it, whatever the case may be.
By the high
But-
school one, they're fighting that for five.
We can't fully discuss these, but
So on that one, let's reach out to,
Marina.
people for, the mitigation.
Yeah.
The next one is 21 Borowski Road. It's that building.
I'm gonna tell Marina and Stacy to get on.
We'll have this public hearing.
Oh, sorry, I thought there was.
Maybe 15 minutes after. And the next one is 1609 Fairfield Beach Road. So those are the 3 demolitions that are on the table. There's no violations. For the old business, we are still interested in doing the presentation of the guidelines to the community. There's been a lot going on, so we'll continue to put it in the agenda until we kind of are able to pinpoint a date and pinpoint the type of presentation that we can make to the community. The next item is membership in the National Alliance of Preservation Commissions for CLG. We have, none of us have received anything. I provided everyone's personal email address, so we don't have anything. Then the next item is the historic property inventory, which we're gonna be working on.
That's what we were just discussing.
Right.
Yeah, we need to write a grant. There's grants for it. We can get a grant for it. I just need to have time to.
Yep. The next one is the materials presentation by Preservation Connecticut and SHPO, which we're gonna be hearing hopefully at 6:45 or earlier. As of new business, we submitted, or Jim helped submit the CLG report to SHPO. So we are in theory up to date. We're waiting to hear if there are any comments from
There won't be.
SHPO.
Good job.
And the next new business is City Square applications. So in the last, actually during this presentation, we've had 2 applicants that have presented in virtually. So they went through City Square, which I'll share with you guys what it is. So we have been working for a few months with the town to make sure that our application process goes with the digital era that we are. 2 years ago, we were able to move from paper and submissions to the building department to PDFs, which is where we are now. And that has worked very well. We are now looking to move towards the same applications that the building department and Sony receive. So it is called City Square. It is basically, you can go online and select for a certificate of appropriateness or a repair form. In the previous hearing, we saw 271 Westway that was submitted that way. Right after this, we have another one that is 776 Peakwood Avenue that was submitted that way. So this basically eliminates all the PDFs coming into an email and allows other departments to look at the application and allows the public also to look at the application, because, for example, we can go on to the property search, and in the property search, we can,
It's there, it's underneath that.
yeah. In the property search, we can put 271 Westway. And it will populate the address. We click on the address and we're gonna go into application. So they submitted an application. Our Historic District Commission application is right there. So this is available for the public. So instead of me having to put together all the PDFs and putting them on the website, they will be here. We will just have to indicate these are the properties that submitted before 3 o'clock on the Wednesday prior to, and everyone is able to look at the information on the application. So we are almost ready to move into this. The 2 applications that have been submitted worked well. zoning approved them when I came to the counter and said, we have these two applications. So rather than having the applicant come with the hard copy and get the stamp, this is much better for their department. This is much better for us.
And they've been pretty quick as far as,
Yes,
you just need to know when it hits.
exactly. We just need to look in, the portal and see which of the applications came in for historic. And then go from there, send them an email
Can
indicating.
we all do that, or you have to do that?
I have the ability,
Okay.
because it requires a password. So, no,
I get a password backup in case?
we have to check with that. So you don't have to.
I quit.
So,
We don't give.
Chairman.
Me?
yeah.
Right, okay.
He is the motion.
I was gonna say, if we
I
did,
forgot
I
my
was gonna, if you, I was gonna suggest it.
So, if everyone is okay with moving forward with the city square,
Fine.
we can, I guess, make a motion, so that,
I'll make a motion that we go to City Square.
That was George Clark.
Yes, that was.
I'll second. I'm Darren.
That's Darren.
Not George.
And how do you let people know that?
Very cool app. I mean, it's.
we will have to, thank you for asking that. We will have to, within the next month or so, change this page
Right,
to reflect.
because I looked today to try to figure that, and I was just baffled.
Yes. So we will be changing this to just show the city
The link to
square, page. So people can just go historic.
Can we get a link added to our, manual, or?
We could try to do that, yes.
Yeah.
But
And
you
we
can go
can
into
do-
cities, you can go into the app.
I know, I'm just trying to
It's
think of
okay.
it
It's
for
very
people.
Yeah,
Very
no, we haven't voted because there's discussion. So we can add it here. The design guidelines can be viewed here, and then for applications, and the link can be there as well. So we'll work with IT department, which they have been very responsive so far. So we'll work with them. So the motion was to go towards city square applications. George, Darren, any other discussions?
Yes, just because we go, but all our participants in this process are also going that direction as well, correct?
Meaning-
Well, you had
All
mentioned
the
earlier,
applicants will go through.
the applicants go through here, but you had said something about TPZ also goes through?
Yeah,
All the
Yeah,
other departments.
That's what I'm
are
saying,
already
all
using
the
it.
other folks that use this, okay.
correct.
fine. All right.
Okay.
So we're not the dog or the tail. we
No.
are
Oh, no,
just-
this
We're late to the game.
We're,
Correct.
this is a very established site.
Some people love it, some people hate it.
All towns.
For example, I know zoning likes it, at least the gentleman that helped me with the application process. I know the admins in building department don't like it because they get a lot of questions on how do we do this or that. So we might be getting some questions from the public, but it's a matter of, it's a slow
So
process.
we're not gonna
With
hybrid
it.
this, we're all in. We're
No,
going-
I want to be all in.
Okay.
It just simplifies the whole process.
Yeah, please do.
First of all, it's a great app.
Yeah.
So, the motion was to approve city square applications. All in favor? Motion passes. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn. George Clark.
I'll second that.
So the meeting finished at 6. We are going straight to,
She's gonna quit.
she's absolutely.
She has to follow me out.
amazing.
Oh, yeah, right.
Amazing, so,
Coordinator for Loeffler.
I'm not losing you.
we're moving to the next meeting. Hold on one second. I will be,
I'm gonna bring
is
this
this
in.
you?